Hello and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason.
I'm student meteorologist Lindsay Parmet, and we're finally going to be experiencing some more rain tonight, which is my favorite kind of weather here in Tallahassee.
Should be definitely good. Definitely cool us off. Oh, cool us off more than we've already been cooled off.
Yes.
I know some people would say that this has been a little bit of a miserable day in a way with the rainy conditions and the cold conditions. I personally am not much of a fan, but
I love it. I don't know. It feels like home, back home right now this time of year. It's cooler, rainier, but you know, it's nice to feel that sort of peace of home that I have.
To be fair, though, that's definitely the perfect weather, at least for me, for sleeping.
Oh, yes.
Inside.
Definitely not outside, but yeah, it has cooled down, as we can tell from over the weekend, but we will be experiencing some slightly warmer conditions as the week goes on. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at the 7-day later into the show, but for now, we've got just rainy conditions all out, especially with traffic abound. Definitely that type of hour where the rain not really helping out much of traffic situations.
Especially leaving the campus. It's going to be a little bit dangerous if you're driving right now. Be safe.
Definitely be safe for that. And the only good news we have for 7 days is it should be definitely getting better as the days go along. So that will definitely be good news for the future.
Absolutely.
Just got to get through these next 2 days.
Yes, even though it might feel dreary for some, we will get warmer. It will get easier to go through as the week goes on.
But we'll definitely take more of a look into those traffic conditions in our area. As we look into areas of Ocala and Tennessee, you can really see the wet, really the rain and how moist really the roads are on our cameras. Ocala and Tennessee really hitting up those traffic conditions, as well as Brevard and Tennessee. Really all throughout our areas where we're hitting, sadly, those traffic spots bumper to bumper. Please stay safe, definitely, with these 53 degrees temperatures and rainy conditions. It is light rain, which is better news, but definitely only the slighter rain is able to basically affect this, and this is really going to affect all of your travel throughout the area, even going home or even going anywhere really with this, because this is expanding really across all the way up into areas of the Carolinas, all the way from areas of Texas. We'll get into more of why these fronts and systems are really affecting the weather where we're seeing it today. We'll experience rain for the next 2 days, but good news, slightly warmer week ahead, and we'll look at some better conditions for the future. But for now, we're going to let it off to Maddie with the rest of our look at our national.
Thank you, Evan. So we're going to start off with our national temperatures, pretty even across the middle part of the country, starting off with Salt Lake City, Utah at 57, coming over a little bit more east in Denver, 51, and you're going to see those temperatures cooling as you move farther east. Right now, 46 in Memphis and 44 in Atlanta. If we're looking at our current dew points as we get farther west along the west coast, you see those a little bit higher due to the moisture coming in off the coast. We're at 52 in San Francisco and 55 in Los Angeles. As you move across the nation, though, you're going to see those starting to drop a little bit drier in Denver at 24 and all the way down to 18 in Kansas City, so a lot drier conditions. As we get more towards the east coast, though, you see those start to pick up with some systems that are going to be moving through over the next few hours. That's why we're at 47 for the dew point right now in Tallahassee and 32 for Atlanta. Looking at current wind speed and direction, looking towards Kansas City and Memphis, we see a northerly flow coming in, which is bringing in those cooler temperatures even down at Dallas and New Orleans. This is why we're getting those cool, very crisp temperatures that we've been seeing the past few days. And for the west part of the country, we see those winds coming in from the Pacific. Looking at the upper level water vapor, though, at St. Louis, most across the Midwest, we see a lot of dry air giving from that high pressure system that's going to be continuing to move over the southeast over the next few days. And we do see a lot of moisture over the southeast. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show with a couple fronts that are moving in, giving us some precipitation for the weekend. But the main point of focus is that dry system that will be moving throughout the next few days. And all of that dry weather is because of this cold front that will be passing through the area. Just behind that front, we see a high pressure system, which is where those lower dew points and dry conditions come from. But I do want to point out the big system that's coming over from the southeast. When we see that cold front move in a little bit later, that's going to combine with the low front that is just off the Gulf, giving us those higher precipitation chances in the southeast. By Friday, we're going to see most of that moisture and precipitation move off towards Jacksonville and eventually off into the Atlantic. Looking at that low pressure system, though, that I just mentioned right now, just off the coast of Texas, that'll be moving its way east towards the panhandle of Florida as well as Alabama, bringing in some heightened chances of precipitation. Pointing out the northeast, though, we're seeing some snow coming into areas like New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Nothing too significant, but it's snow nonetheless, which is exciting. If we go over to the west coast up in Seattle, we're seeing some moisture coming in off the coast from the Pacific. Nothing too much, but definitely overcast conditions. Tonight's forecast, we're seeing those temperatures drop down as the sun moves out and the clouds move in. We're seeing some lower conditions, 31 in Kansas City, 27 in Memphis, and all the way down to 46 in Tallahassee. Not too comfortable. And tomorrow's forecast, we're seeing those come up just a little bit with our sun coming in. We have 64 in Denver, 58 in Dallas. Definitely fall temperatures, but nothing too crazy. It's definitely feeling like fall out there. I'm going to pass things off to Lindsay with our first look at the local.
Thank you so much, Maddie. So we're taking a live look over Doak, and currently it's dreary, it's rainy, and it's going to continue that way throughout tonight. Looking right now, it's currently 53 degrees outside with some slight rain and winds coming out of the north at around 8 miles per hour, which is giving us a little bit of a breeze. We can see this moisture coming in through the area that is going to continue throughout the night. Now, looking at the satellite as a whole, we are going to see that there is rain pushing through the southeast region that's going to push through Tallahassee, giving us this precipitation and this moisture we are experiencing throughout the night. With that cold front coming through, that is going to give us some drier conditions with that high pressure system that is sitting right behind it. Currently in Tallahassee, our dew point is 47 degrees, which is why it has been feeling dry. It is fall here, so we do expect that drier sort of feeling. However, as we get into tonight, we are going to feel some more moisture due to that rain that is coming in. So for tonight, it's going to be 46 degrees in Tallahassee with rainfall throughout the night. And the same thing in Monticello, 45 with some rainfall. However, as we look at the Big Bend region, we will see that we are staying in the high 40s with scattered rain as well as cloud coverage. For tomorrow, Tallahassee is sitting at 55 degrees with some scattered showers and some sun poking through throughout the day. For our 7-day, we are going to see tomorrow, Friday, we have a high of 57 and a low of 47 with some more chances of rain. As well as the weekend, it is going to warm up. We are going to feel warmer temperatures throughout our weekend. High of 64 on Saturday, low of 43, and even Sunday we're still feeling that good temperature at 63 and 41. But for now, I am going to pass things off to the desk with Tyler and Maddie.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, we're going to have a little bit of a different desk today. Me and Maddie have had some beef for a while, so we're going to debate about the weather a little bit.
We are. We have two completely different people sitting right here. I'm from the Midwest. Tyler's lived in Florida for most of his life, so we have a little bit different take about different weather. So to start things off, Tyler, do you prefer hot temperatures or cold temperatures?
Definitely the hot temperatures. I'm way more used to that. About 11 out of the 12 months of the year, I'm experiencing hot weather. So I'd much rather have that. You can't go to the beach when it's freezing cold outside.
That is true, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. Whenever it's cold outside, especially being down here in Tallahassee, when those temperatures start to drop, it definitely reminds me of home. I like the crisp feeling outside. I like bundling up. The outfits are a lot cuter when it's cold outside, so I'm going to have to disagree with you on that.
The only part I could say that I like about the cold is wearing hoodies, but that's about where it stops for me because I feel like there's a lot more ways to relieve yourself from the heat, whether it's going to the beach or the pool or just going inside. I guess you go inside when it's cold out as well, but I just find the cold a lot more unbearable and hard to deal with.
I respect it. So is the temperature and the feeling outside good for you now, or is this a little too chilly?
I'd still say this is a little bit too chilly, which kind of segues into our next point. Snow versus no snow.
Definitely snow. There's no better feeling than waking up to a beautiful snow blanket outside, maybe getting off school. I love snow. It's the best. You can do so many things outside with it. It looks beautiful. Why? What do you think?
I'd say I've never experienced snow, but I think it'd be too much hard work to deal with. Shutting down too many roads, messing up flights, all that kind of stuff.
I do respect that. So if you don't like snow, would you prefer rain or sunny?
I'd actually say I do like rainy and windy days.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree. Definitely feels like fall out there. It just gives you the vibe of, you know, Christmas is coming up, Thanksgiving, all these different holidays. I like fall, and I like the rainy and cold weather.
All right, that's one thing we can actually agree about
Finally.
for once. But yeah, even though I like the hot weather, I do think I'd rather it be more moderate. I think that's why I like the rainy and windy days the most here in Tallahassee.
We've been seeing that the past couple of days. It's been a little dreary outside and maybe a little chilly towards the evening hours, but I think right now is the perfect weather outside for me. I enjoy it.
I'd say about 10 to 15 degrees warmer, and we'd be right there. Maybe still want to experience that Tallahassee snow maybe just once, just so I could see it, but after that we can go back to those more moderate temperatures.
Just to see it. Well, I respect that. But anyway, we're going to send things off for the National with Evan at the wall.
Thank you very much, Maddie. And me personally, I prefer most of those cool bike rides, at least to school. It personally wakes me up a lot more than sweating consistently out there. So across the region, we are looking at those colder temperatures really throughout our radar. Even parts of the west are seeing degrees 51 over in Denver. That's surprising and really sees how cold the temperature's gotten along the East Coast. We're seeing 51 in Denver, but we're seeing 44 over in areas of Atlanta. So definitely that cold, those cold temperatures that have come into the east have definitely played a huge part into our forecast. Just look, we're also using dew points of 18 in Kansas City, 20 in Memphis. Really dry across the area, except for areas along the coast where we've started to see a lot of that moisture peer up through the southeast. And really what the temperature is bringing up down in Miami at 71 for their dew point there as well. We're seeing some sea breezes coming off the coast of the west coast into areas of San Francisco and Los Angeles at 9 to 10 miles per hour. Nothing too major with that, definitely, but we'll definitely look into another system looking later on for that area. Starting to see a little bit of some rain showers pop up in areas of Portland and Vancouver, but our main story is in the southeast. You can really see this tropical moisture being brought up and really forced along over this front right here that's lingering just below St. Louis into areas of Dallas as well. But that's really forcing a lot of the rain into areas of Tallahassee and Atlanta and Louisiana. You can really see how big this system is covering up. It's really covering up all of the southeast up to areas of the Carolinas and even down into area of Houston, where we're starting to see really the center of that low pressure system that will be starting to move off east. That is being helped out and directed by that high pressure system that we saw just a minute ago, just north of it. You really see as well the clouds with this, the winds really bringing up from the Gulf, bring up a lot of that moisture into areas of New Orleans. And elsewhere, we're looking at areas of snow into Burlington and Boston. Nothing too major. You don't really see much of a front continuous with a lot of these snow occurrences around these areas, but definitely something to be aware of. Definitely, if you're definitely traveling out anywhere near there. We are hitting some showers as well into areas of Seattle, Medford as well. Nothing too major as well. The front really over here hasn't developed entirely yet and still definitely off the west coast. But we're definitely going to be looking at rain and 48 degrees for areas of Seattle. 52 degrees and 55 for LA, definitely staying a lot warmer there. And we're seeing that cold definitely being brought up into areas of the southeast. 27 the low for Memphis and 47 as their high for tomorrow. As definitely won't be getting warmer for Tallahassee. In fact, for tomorrow itself with 55 in Tallahassee. But now I'm going to bring it off to Tyler with a look at the rest of our southeast and see how rainy it is.
Thank you, Evan. Very rainy here in the southeast. We'll start off with the temperatures currently. Tallahassee's at 53 degrees, Montgomery getting down to 46, and then our coldest spot is in Jackson and Atlanta as well. We can see the rain is mostly situated here to the west right now. It's going to continue to push towards the southeast though, and then getting into Florida, Tampa's at 74, Miami's at 76 degrees, a lot warmer temperatures there, and you can really see the dew point contrast here in the panhandle of Florida. Tallahassee having those drier dew points at 47 degrees. Montgomery even drier at 41, and then moving into central Florida, a lot more moist conditions at the moment with dew point at 67 degrees in Orlando. Winds mostly coming out of the north right now. Northerly flow, very light towards our northern portions of the southeast, but they start to pick up quite a bit as we go into Florida. Tallahassee having wind speeds up to 10 miles per hour right now. And as we start moving into central Florida, more of an easterly flow, bringing a lot of that moisture into the state. And our national view kind of shows us the pattern right now. Cold front's going to start continuing to push through, but right now high pressure, and then ahead of that we have two low pressures, one from Texas, one from the Gulf, that combined to bring this system together, bringing a lot of rain for the southeast right now, especially Tallahassee and those southern parts of Georgia. Zooming in, we can even see Alabama seeing a lot of rain as well, even getting into southern Mississippi and parts of Louisiana. Most of this rain is stratiform rain, which means you don't really have to worry about thunderstorms sparking up too much. We see some thunderstorms possibly sparking up off the west coast, but not making landfall as of right now. And the upper level water vapor showing where the strongest rains can be, which is off the west coast of Florida. So our futurecast is going to show us this rain's really going to continue to stick around all night long and into Friday morning. And then as we get into Friday afternoon, mostly it's going to be a cloudy day for Florida, but the rain will stick around for Georgia and parts of South Carolina. For tonight, going to get down to 47 degrees for Jacksonville, and then as we start moving towards the western parts of the southeast, going to get down to 26 degrees in Little Rock. Very, very cold night for them. And then moving into tomorrow, Tallahassee's going to be at 55, Orlando going to be a fairly warm 75, and then Atlanta going to stay cold at 49 degrees. Now I'm going to pass things off to Evan with our second local look of the evening.
Thank you very much, Tyler. As we look into our local, really looks like how your car, if you're driving right now, really how your car is looking at right now. Really can't see too much out of it, and definitely unless you use those windshield wipers. Very foggy picture along Doak Campbell here. You really see not too much as well, clearing up in the clouds, especially with it getting darker earlier in the day as well. Still experiencing areas of those rains, still with a lot of those rain bands really coming up in from the Gulf at 53 degrees. But here you can really see green all across our radar being brought up. The only good news about this is not too severe with some of these storms, maybe a little bit with the cell that just passed to the east and is passing to the east of Tallahassee currently. But definitely stay safe along those roads wherever you're traveling across any of this screen. And west, south, north really doesn't mean where you're going because of how big this rain is really expanding towards. We're seeing rain up into areas of Raleigh, even up into Virginia from this low pressure system that has really been driving a lot of this rain throughout the area. Has really started even to areas of Texas, just west of Houston is really where we're looking at, crossing the entire area of the southeast and really throughout the United States, not seeing too much because much of the moisture is focused throughout our area. And so we look into areas of Tallahassee, rainy and 53 degrees. We're definitely seeing cooler temperatures, especially as the night is crawling up, especially with that rain. 50 and rainy also in areas of Thomasville. See those dew points really matching up with the temperatures. That does mean that it's definitely still a little bit muggy along those roads, especially in areas of Perry with 51 as their dew point. Look at our futurecast. We're looking at these cells still moving upward. You can all see these cells really moving northward and upward out of our way, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot coming, and we're still looking at rain chances still for tomorrow night continuing in 4-hour forecast. Now tonight we're reaching into the 40-degree category and rainy, but definitely not still going to continue for tomorrow at 55 in areas of Tallahassee, 53 into Monticello. But as we look into the rest of our 7-day, it is looking a lot better. But definitely don't put down those jackets, even though those highs are getting warmer throughout our region, as the lows still reaching down to 41 on Sunday. But for now, we're going to pass it out to Maddie with a look around town at our lifestyle.
Thank you, Evan. This is my favorite part of the show, the lifestyle forecast. We talk about how all this weather and everything that we've been mentioning earlier in the show is going to affect you in these next coming days. The satellite and radar, just like Evan mentioned, we see all this rain coming into the area, a very large system coming off the Gulf, bringing a lot of precipitation, even some stronger and heavier rainfall in Tallahassee specifically into tonight and into tomorrow morning. Our futurecast is going to look the same way. We see all of that system moving out into the east, but leaving us with overcast conditions and a dreary Friday evening tomorrow. And it seems like Dirac and Strozer seems to be the place to be right now, inside at a nice warm 75. Definitely a very sharp contrast to the 53 degrees outside, with a nice breeze coming in at 8 miles per hour. If we're looking tomorrow at College Town and we want to take a nice Friday night on the town, it might not be the evening to do that. We're looking at chilly temperatures of 46 with a chance of some stormy conditions as we saw that system moving in with our radar just a little bit earlier. It might be the night to instead go maybe cheer on the Knowles at the basketball game. We're looking at some windy conditions tomorrow evening out of the north-northwest at 11 miles per hour. But if you do decide to take on the evening Friday night tomorrow, it's going to be 55 wind pre-banding, and we're going to see that rain move into the area as temperatures drop down to 50 degrees, and inside it's going to be chilly as well at 50 degrees. For those of you looking at our motorcycle forecast, Saturday morning 43, but as you're driving on those roads, going a little bit faster, you're going to get your feels like temperature of 31 degrees. Maybe not the best day to take out the motorcycle and take a nice stroll around the Tallahassee, but nevertheless, Saturday evening, we're going to see those temperatures increase just a little bit, looking at 52 degrees at 8 p.m., but dropping down to the 40s again by 10 p.m. that evening. Sunday morning, just the same as Saturday, looking at 43 degrees, mostly sunny conditions as that high pressure system starts to make its way into Tallahassee, but we're seeing those temperatures just staying a little bit on the cooler side. But for our 3-day forecast tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 57 degrees, definitely chilly with a slight chance of rain. But as that system moves through, we're going to see conditions start to clear up and warm up a little bit. 64 for the high on Saturday and 63 for the high on Sunday. So we're looking at a great weekend coming ahead for us. I'm going to pass things off to look at Florida with Lindsay.
Thank you so much. So currently looking at Florida, we are at about 53 degrees with some rain. Jacksonville's up at 57 with some slight cloud coverage. And as we move down into Florida, we are going to see that it is going to be warmer. However, there is still some moisture throughout the state. So now looking at our dew points, we will see Tallahassee at 47. It is drier. It is fall. However, with that rain that will be coming in tonight and staying throughout the night, we are going to experience some moisture in Tallahassee. Currently, satellite and radar is showing us that there is that system that is pushing through Florida, and we will be experiencing precipitation from that throughout the night with that high pressure system behind that cold front that will push through and give us some drier conditions throughout our weekend. So looking at that system, it is moving through Tallahassee, which will help us with some rainfall, and even into further south parts of Florida, like the West Palm Beach area. So now looking closer into South Florida, Fort Myers is going to get hit with a little bit of rain, as well as Tampa and West Palm as well with some slight showers. Even Miami's getting hit with a little bit of moisture today. And looking at Tallahassee, we are going to see that system move through tonight, bringing us some rain. Not really any thunderstorms to be concerned about. And the same thing with Panama City. They will be experiencing some rain showers. However, there will not be any thunderstorms. So now Tallahassee, throughout the future, we are going to see that rain move out of our area with some slight cloud coverage coming in. However, that rain will push up into parts of Georgia and South Carolina, giving them what we've been experiencing tonight. For our drought monitor, we will see that Tallahassee is in a moderate drought, as well as South Florida experiencing abnormally dry conditions for this time of year. For our 3-day, Miami tomorrow we'll be experiencing a high of 82 with a 50% chance of thunderstorms. Into Saturday, 76 degrees, and Sunday, 74 degrees. Tampa is also experiencing higher conditions than we are with temperature, as well as Orlando, who will sit at the high 70s into the high 60s, and Jacksonville experiencing similar temperatures as well. For Pensacola, high 50s into our high 60s. And for tonight, we are going to see that Tallahassee is at 46 degrees with some rain. Gainesville is at 49 degrees, and Orlando dipping down to 56 with some showers. For tomorrow, Tallahassee's at a high of 55 degrees. But for now, I am going to pass things off to Tyler with a look at our local.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm going to give us one last quick local look here at Tallahassee. The weather stem cam over Doak Campbell Stadium showing those cloudy skies. The rain starting to pick up a little bit. And then looking at our current conditions, 53 degrees, seeing that it's starting to get pretty rainy outside. Those winds coming out of the north at about 8 miles per hour. On the satellite, you can see the light rain really starting to pick up a little bit. Some of these yellow spots show us a little bit of heavier rainfall, but for the most part, the Big Bend region is seeing some more of that stratiform light rain. And as we zoom out to the southeast, more of that stratiform rain for much of everyone, mainly Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and even Louisiana, seeing a lot of rain for most of those regions. And then zooming out to our national view, we'll see as this cold front pushes through, high pressure will bring clearer conditions for many regions of the United States. But most of this rain is being brought to us right now from a low pressure coming from Texas, combining with one that was in the Gulf earlier a couple days ago. Looking at our temperatures right now, Tallahassee's at 53, Thomasville's at 50 degrees right now. Rainy for many of these cities here in the Big Bend. Dry conditions as well. Tallahassee with that dew point of 47, Quincy with a dew point of 48, and then Perry a little bit more moist with that dew point of 51 degrees. For tonight, expecting to get temperatures down to 46 degrees in Tallahassee, 45 in Monticello. And for tomorrow, Tallahassee getting up to 55 degrees, Perry getting up to 60, Valdosta up to 55. Expecting rain to stick around at least for the morning hours in the Big Bend. For your day planner tomorrow, going to get up to 55 degrees by 4 p.m. for our high. We're going to keep it cloudy for most of the day, well, actually pretty much all of the day. And then for our 7-day forecast, this weekend going to heat up a little bit, and even into next week, going to see those temperatures finally start getting into the high 60s, lower 70s, just how I like it, with those lows in the upper 40s. But now I'm going to pass things off to the desk with Lindsay and Maddie to close off our show.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. Well, Lindsay and I were just talking a little bit about how we do enjoy these cooler temperatures. I'm from the Midwest. Lindsay is up from Northeast in New York. So what do you feel about these temperatures?
I love it. It feels like fall back home for me. Honestly, I do kind of miss the snow, which is not something I thought I'd ever say leaving New York.
I agree.
I don't miss the maintenance, but I definitely do miss like that sort of like feeling of like the cool with the cute outfits. And
I'm totally for that, and I totally agree. Looking at the 7-day, though, these cooler temperatures aren't going to last too much longer in terms of the high. We're seeing temperatures get back up into the mid-60s by next week. Even Thursday is showing a high of 71.
Yeah, it's going to warm up. It's going to make us feel almost like we're in spring for where we're from. However, for people who are down south, this is what you're used to for this time of the year. You know, still beware, bring that jacket if you're a little chilly. However, it is warming up day by day, and it will get less dreary as the week goes on.
And as the week goes on, those temperatures still are going to be dropping down to the upper 40s. So if you are not from Tallahassee, if you're from South Florida, I know a lot of my friends are hurting from this cold weather and they don't know how to handle it, but from back home, it's just another day.
It's just another day for us. However, if you aren't ready for this weather, or if you're not really used to it, do bring that jacket outside if you're taking a walk at night or even going out.
Definitely. But make sure to follow us on Twitter to get all of your local updates at twitter.com/FSU weather.
Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather.
And then make sure to tune in live Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and on youtube.com/FSU weather to check out all of our updates.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram for updates at FSU weather.
And as that front moves in and as we see some precipitation, feel free to send in some pictures to our Instagram. We love seeing them.
Definitely.
We'll post a couple, but it'll be good. And other than that, thanks for tuning in. I'm student meteorologist Maddie Seiler.
And I'm student meteorologist Lindsay Parmet. Have a great night.